Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Discover Your Assets webinar by Lifestyle Up. How are you doing? Trust you are doing fantastically well. Where are you watching us from today? For me, like I always say, it's always a great privilege to be alive because your life is your greatest resources. And today we'll be talking on how we can make more value to our lives. You know why? Because your life is a gift from God. But what you do with your life is your gift to God. So today we'll be talking about value. I know you are watching us from different parts of the world. Okay, so just drop on the comment chat. I want today's edition to be as interactive as possible because today we have a special guest virtually. I met this guy about 10 years ago and he practically changed my life by just listening to his teachings, his philosophies. And when our team of researchers at our Hub Academy unit, they sat down, they said, wow, let us talk about Jim Rohn's philosophies of value today. And today's edition promises to be super awesome, super exciting. So I need you to have great value for your time today because today we'll be talking about value. Value. And there is no best way to add in more value to yourself when you are deliberate about it. So I need you to get your P square. What is P square? I mean your pen and your writing materials, your pen and paper, because I need you to jot along with today's unique edition of the Discover Your Assets webinar. It's the first of its kind, okay? And I believe you have great value for your time today. So please just let us know where you're watching us from today. And I promise you, you are going to find the next 50 minutes maximum very exciting, very rewarding. And of course, you'll be so delighted that you made it this week. Once again, welcome to the Discover Your Assets webinar. All right, welcome back. You know, I said earlier, and I made a passionate plea that you've got to get your pen and paper. Okay, this is my jotting material, this is my pen, because I also want to learn along with Jim Rohn today. Okay, and I hope you do the same thing for yourself. Now, let me say this to you. 15 years ago, I struggled with my finances. I struggled with my personalities. As a matter of fact, people thought I had a very low self-esteem because I was far below average. That was me 15 years ago. 10 years ago, I discovered the power of value. Okay, I discovered the power of becoming more. And guess what? It took me another 5 years for my life to practically change. So what that simply means that it takes time to build value. But the simple truth is that nobody pays you for the time. But guess what? Once you start driving the value, it's like a rocket science. And at Lifestyle, we have a unique system that can help you becoming more in less than a year, in less than 2 years of you applying this unique knowledge-based model. And it's in the light of that philosophy of knowledge, and becoming better at Lifestyle that we present to you today, Mr. Jim Rohn. So I would need us, including myself, to kindly and carefully and deliberately, attentively listen to Jim Rohn, okay, as it takes us on a very short journey on how we can become more, on how we can take absolute control of the marketplace, on how, one of the greatest lessons from today's teachings by Jim Rohn is the fact that Jim Rohn is going to give you a summary of what you should start focusing on. So let's go on this journey together. Thank you all.
It was so comfortable blaming the government and blaming my negative relatives and the company policy, unions, wage scale, economy, interest rates, prices and circumstances and all that. That was difficult for me to give up. That was quite a transition for me to make and blaming myself. But Mr. Shove started out with something very, very important. Let me give that to you. He said, it's not what happens that determines the major part of your future. It's not what happens. What happens, happens to us all. He said the key is what you do about it. It's not what happens, it's what you do about it.
Wow, that was profound. Did you hear that? It's not what happens that determines the greatest part of our future, but it's what we do about it. Now let me ask you, what are you doing about your current situation? Let's move ahead.
And he said, if you will start that process of change, do something different the next 90 days than you did the last 90 days, like picking up the books to read. Do something different, like the new health disciplines, relationship with your family, whatever it is, doesn't matter how small it is. If you'll start doing different things with the same circumstances, since we cannot change the circumstances, but we can change ourselves. We can change what we do. And then he gave me another secret to success when he said, what you have at the moment, Mr. Rohn, you've attracted by the person you've become.
Wow, this is powerful. Did you get that? What you have at the moment, you attracted it by the person you become. Now the question now is, are you becoming more daily or you are becoming less? Okay, every day before I sleep, there's a question I always ask myself, that Abioye, what did you achieve today? Did you increase today or did you decrease? And one of the prayers I always pray to God, that God, please increase me today. Okay, and I don't just pray that prayer, I work at it, I act at it, and of course, I deliberately follow through the principle. Now, Jim Rohn also said something that I need to also quickly emphasize to every one of us. He talked about the 90 days. Okay, 90 days well spent. Okay, and I would like to encourage every one of you watching us right now, let us embark on a 90-day challenge. A 90-day, okay, whereby you pick just 2 books you are going to read. Okay, 2 good books you are going to read in the next 90 days, and things you are going to change about your career, about your businesses. Let's move on.
What you have at the moment, you've attracted by the person you've become. Few little simple principles here. Once you understand these, it starts to explain so much. Now, sometimes it's a little tough to take, blaming yourself instead of the marketplace, taking responsibility instead of putting it off on someone else. That transition sometimes is a challenging mission. And this one was a little tough for me. He said, Mr. Rohn, you've got pennies in your pocket, you've got nothing in the bank, the creditors are calling, you're behind on your promises. And he says, here's how that occurs. You've attracted, up until now, you've attracted the things to you because of the person you've become.
Wow, I can't let it slide. If you are currently behind on your bills, I'm sorry, this is very hard to say, you attracted it. Okay, because it's one thing I've also learned is that we've got to be very tough on ourselves. Okay, so if you are doing so well right now, you also attracted it. So you've got to tell yourself today, I've got to attract the kind of life I really want. And it's about working massively on yourself. Let's move on.
Now I said, well, how can I change all that? He said, very simple. If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more. And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Start working on yourself, making these personal changes. And he said, it'll all change for you.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about personal development. That extraordinary adventure I undertook starting at age 25. And I've never ceased that adventure. I'm still going for it. In the 90s, I want to get better and better. I want my craft to get better, my business operations to get better, the things I do to get better. Because once I picked up this simple formula, I'm telling you, it's easy to figure out where the problem is if you go to work on it. Now, let's talk about personal development. And in helping kids understand personal development, I always start with money. Now, money's not the only place to start. Money certainly isn't the only value, but we've all got to start somewhere, and money's something you can count, right? Kids are interested in money, okay? A lot of things are a little tougher to measure, but economics is pretty easy, right? Because you can count. Okay, somebody says, how are you doing? You say, I don't know. Let's count. Now, this is not the only count. I understand that. There's a lot of other things to count. But to see if there may be some errors in your judgment and lack of disciplines in your life, we might as well start with money, because it's so easy to count. So let's just start there and see whether or not maybe we have messed up. Okay. So here's how I explain it to kids. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Key to understanding economics. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace.
Did you get that? We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Okay, that is very profound. The day I discovered this from Jim Rohn about 10 years ago, it practically changed my life. And I said, wow, Abioye, you've got to always think, sleep, and eat value. Because the more value you drive, the better your finances. Because wealth typically drifts towards value. Let's go on.
Marketplace is also described as reality.
Reality.
Reality, the marketplace. Now, it takes time. It takes time to bring value to the marketplace, but we don't get paid for time. It's very important for kids to understand, as well as adults. We don't get paid for time. Mistakenly, the man says, well, I'm making about $20 for an hour. Not true. Not true. If that was true, you could just stay home, have them send your money. No, it's not true. You don't get paid for the hour. You get paid for the value you put in the time.
Wow. You don't get paid for the hours. You get paid for the value. Think about it. And I really need us to reflect about this. And we're going to conclude with our reflections.
So we don't get paid for time, we get paid for value. Now, since that's true, here's one of the key questions of the afternoon. Is it possible to become twice as valuable and make twice as much money in the same time?
Wow. Great question.
Is it possible to become 3 times as valuable as you now are and make 3 times as much money in the same time? Is that possible? Of course. If you want to really emphasize something, that's a good phrase, Stuart. Of course. Of course. Okay. Now, all you have to do to earn more money in the same time is simply become more valuable. America's unique. It's a ladder to climb. Starts down here, what, about $4 an hour? Big argument last year in Congress about the starting place. Should be 5, should be 5, should be 5. Well, no, it doesn't need to be 5. Why not start with 4? It's a ladder. Right? This is not a bed. This is a ladder. This is a ladder to climb. Starts at $4. Now somebody said, well, should be 5, should be 5. Well, maybe. If you're going to stay at the bottom for the rest of your life, it probably should be 5. But that's kind of a pitiful way to live. Start and not grow. Start and not change. Start and not become more valuable. Hey, the whole scenario of life is to start, number 1, and what? Become more valuable, number 2. So America's a ladder to climb. Starts at $4 an hour, and the more valuable you become, you just keep moving up the ladder. Top income last year, what, 52 million? Guy that runs Disney? Would a company pay somebody for 1 year's work $52 million? And the answer is, of course. This is one of those of course places. Of course. If you help a company make $1 billion, would they pay you $52 million? The answer is, of course. It's chicken feed. I mean, it's not much money. Now, why that much money? Because he has become so valuable. Now, why would we pay somebody only $4 an hour? They're not very valuable to the marketplace. Now, we got to make that distinction, to the marketplace. Might be a valuable brother, a valuable member of the community, valuable member of the church, valuable member in the sight of God, to the human family, of course, those kind of values. But to the marketplace, which is called what? Reality. Reality is, if you're not very valuable, you don't get much money. Those are called the facts. I mean, that's how that is. Well, then how do you get more money? Simple answer. Somebody says, well, I'll go on strike for more. Well, here's a major problem with that. Here's a major problem with that. You can't get rich by demand.
Wow. Do you get that? You cannot get rich by demand. I hope you are listening carefully to Jim, okay? And I'm going to ask a question. There is something he kept emphasizing about the marketplace, okay? And there's a phrase he has dropped already. And our question for this week is going to be based on that phrase. So listen carefully, that immediately after we wrap up this session, then of course I'm going to ask that question. Then I've got a very precious book to give out for this week. Let's go on.
Somebody says, well, I'm waiting for a raise. I'm telling you, it's easier to climb than to wait for a raise. Why not just become more valuable rather than wait? I'm telling you, that's the key to all good things. Becoming more valuable. Why would we pay somebody $400 an hour? They've become more valuable to the marketplace. See how this works? I'm telling you, this stuff is so easy. This is America. This is a ladder. How far is it from 4 to 5? I'm telling you, it's not far. $4 to $5 an hour? If you work for McDonald's, haul out the trash, they'll pay you $5 an hour. If you whistle while you haul out the trash, they'll pay you $5 an hour. I'm telling you. You'll get an extra $1 just for a good attitude. Yay, McDonald's. Wear the hat. It's incredible. $5. And then you just keep becoming more valuable, more valuable, more valuable. I got a telephone call 5 years ago. The company said, we're ready to expand internationally. We need some help. I was sort of semi-retired. Right? Looking for the next exotic beach. They said, no, Mr. Rohn, we got a project for you. Right? We're going to expand internationally. We could use your help. Next little while, we'll add some millions to your fortune, make it worth your while. I said, okay. I thought later, isn't that interesting that they called me? My second thought was, of course they'd call me. Who else would they call? I mean, I can get the job done. Now, how come I got a telephone call worth millions? I had become valuable. Now, I'm a farm boy from Idaho. I was raised in obscurity. 1 year of college, and I thought I was thoroughly educated. Made all kinds of mistakes galore. At age 25, the creditors are calling me saying, hey, you told us the check was in the mail. I got pennies in my pocket. I got nothing in the bank. I'm behind on my promises. How come I get a telephone call 5 years ago and it's worth millions? I changed. I turned my life around. Is it possible to become worth millions? Speaking economically, now there's a lot of values to become, but let's just talk economics. Is it possible to become that valuable? And the answer is, of course, of course. Now let me give you the secret. Shoaff said, here's the secret, Mr. Rohn. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Once I got that, it turned my life around. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
Wow.
He said, if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. If you would have known me at age 25, you would have said, Jim Rohn's a hard worker. If you'd have known me, you'd have said that. I'm the guy, I don't mind coming a little bit early, staying a little bit late. I don't mind that. You'd have said, well, Jim Rohn's a hard worker. You say, well, how come he's got pennies in his pocket and nothing in the bank and behind on his promises? Well, I was a hard worker, but I was working hard on my job, not on myself. I'm telling you, if you'll learn that simple little principle and start the process today, latest tomorrow, I'll give you tonight to think it over. And start this whole process of personal development, work on yourself, make yourself more valuable to the marketplace. I'm telling you, you can so dynamically change your income, and economics is the least of the values that you can start earning in terms of equity if you'll start working harder on yourself than you do on your job. Work hard on yourself and develop the skills. Work hard on yourself and develop the graces. All of the stuff necessary to become more valuable to the marketplace. I'm telling you, your whole life can explode into change. Promotions, no problem. Becoming more valuable to the company, I'm telling you, no problem. Money, no problem. Economics, no problem. Future, no problem. If you just go to work on the right thing. Not get things out there to change. Don't try to change the seed. Don't change the soil. Don't change the sunshine. Don't change the rain. Don't change the mix of seasons. Let the miracle of everything that's available work for you, and start working on the inside. Work on your philosophy. Work on your attitude. Work on your personality. Work on your language. Work on the gift of communication. Work on all of your abilities. And if you'll start making those personal changes, I'm telling you, everything will change for you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Now, let me ask you, from all Jim Rohn has shared with us today, what is your most profound learning for today? Okay, and he ended with some very powerful teachings on things we need to focus on. Okay, while you are dropping those comments, okay, while you are sharing, like I said last week, once something you find very profound, please drop it on the comment bar so that everybody, just imagine every one of us dropping right now everything we just learned from Jim Rohn. Trust me, every other person will learn more in the process, because what you grabbed, I might not grab it. Okay, and I've got some very nice jottings I would like to share with you. But before I do that, okay, I would like to ask our question for the week. Now, according to Jim Rohn, he said that the marketplace is called what? Okay, I'm looking for a word. The marketplace is called what? I need the fastest finger to drop the correct answer. I know, okay, like I always like to emphasize, network can be very dodgy, okay? And your network is definitely not, is different from our network. Okay, so on your own system, okay, on your channel over there, you might think you are the first person that got it. Okay, but we are using our own system to judge who the fastest finger is for the week. Okay, and I'm going to share the topic and the title of the book with every one of you. And of course, I will encourage you to please try and grab a copy for yourself. Okay, so the marketplace is called what, according to Jim Rohn? So there's a word I'm looking for. Thank you so very much for paying close attention. Now, as we wrap up today's edition, I would like to invite every one of you to be part of our unique community at Lifestyle Up, a community that helps to redefine your lifestyle and the kind of environment you live in. Okay, I'm going to explain those two communities with you, then I will announce our winners for today, and of course, it will be a wrap for this week's edition of the Discover Your Asset webinar. I would like you all to please check out this unique community designed and developed by Lifestyle Up. Thank you. All right, welcome back. What we just showed you, it's a unique, okay, and tastefully designed 4-bedroom terrace duplex apartment with a rooftop swimming pool, okay, with a unique functional design and of course eco-friendly structure. It's a design that you should aim to owning one yourself. Okay, and I'm going to talk to you about four ways to owning one of those terrace apartments across the continent of Africa. Okay, in key cities from Abuja to Lagos, to Port Harcourt, to Kano, to Enugu, to Ibadan. okay, to Accra in Ghana, to Kumasi, to Lusaka, to Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, to Pretoria in South Africa, to Banjul in the Gambia. I can't just wait for us to unveil our new site in the Gambia. Very lovely sea view land. Okay, so for us, the future of what we are doing is massive. I want to encourage you to key and buy into the future. You know why? The future is cheaper if you buy it today. But if you wait till tomorrow, you will surely pay more for it. And I want to encourage you to please let us buy the future today. Join us in buying the future today. Co-own the vision at Lifestyle Up, and you'll be so surprised how lovely your retirement plan will look like. Now, we have 4 packages, like I said. First is the Big League package, okay, whereby you can own. The Big League is outright sales. You don't want to leverage. So we have the outright option, we have the leverage option. So on the outright option is where you spend between $138,000 to about $250,000 US. So the price varies from location to location, okay? So between $138,000 to $250,000, you can own one of these. When you make that payment in 8 months, your keys are delivered to you, and the value of your property upon delivery will be in the range of $350,000 US to about $450,000 US market price, and conservatively speaking. Then we have the leverage options, unique 3 leverage options I would like to share with you this week. One is what we call the Elite VVIP package, okay, whereby you subscribe with the sum of $38,000 US. You now recommend 4 of your friends that made the same subscription of $38,000 US. You earn 5% on each of their subscriptions, and voila, you qualify for one of those fully finished 4-bedroom terrace duplex apartments. That is the leverage option 1. Then there's a second leverage option, which is the VVIP package, whereby you sign up with the sum of $8,400 US. You recommend 4 of your friends, and you earn 5% on each of those 4. And those 4 friends of yours, we also recommend there are 4 each, making 16 in your second generation. The day the 16th man signed up, we pay you a leadership bonus of $8,400. Your capital is back, and voila, you also qualify for one of those fully finished 4-bedroom terrace apartments. So it's just 2 steps deep. And once you qualify, you are out of the system. This is not the traditional networking system that leaves you on the system perpetually. This is real estate, and it is numbers driven. Then the final leverage package I would like to share with you under the Extra Luxury program is the VIP package, whereby you subscribe with the sum of $4,200 US. You recommend 3 of your friends. You earn 10% on each of them. Then those 3 friends of yours, we recommend that 3 each, making 9 in your second generation. Then you earn a leadership bonus of $4,200. Your capital is back to you. Then finally, those 9 people in your second generation will also start their journey individually. They will also recommend that 3 each, making 27 in your third generation, which is the last generation you need. Voila, you qualify for your apartment. Okay, for us, we design these leverage structures to help you make up in numbers what you lack in cash. And guess what, everyone? There are a lot of other value built into these 3 packages. To discover those values, I would like you to please contact your friends that invited you to this edition today. They will be more than happy to telling you more about the value you will derive when you finally come on board. Okay, thank you so very much. That is the Extra Luxury community we develop at Lifestyle Up that helps you own a 4-bedroom terrace duplex apartment. Okay, so thank you so very much. And of course, I'll be showing you the second community right now. And don't forget the question I asked you earlier. According to Jim Rohn, the marketplace is called what? I can see some of us were dropping the questions already, and our team is watching carefully to announce the first finger via the chat column very shortly. Now, I would like you to check out the second vertical community we created at Lifestyle Up called the Solid Refuge. Check it out. Okay, why did we design this structure? Okay, if we are very serious in Africa about giving more people access to the best part of the town, because for us at Lifestyle Up, we are committed to building in the most expensive, in the most prime part of the cities across Africa, okay, then we now give our vision partners opportunities to do what? To go into the hinterland and expand the frontier of this vision. Okay, and for also achieving that, we also need to build vertically. And what you just saw is a unique investment platform. If you own one of those apartments, it's fantastic for Airbnb or any short stay apartment you can ever think of. It's a 3-bedroom flat apartment with a maid's room, and guess what? With a general rooftop garden that gives you a unique relaxation space, okay, you and members of your family. Now, there are 4 ways to owning it: the outright option and of course the leverage option. Okay, the outright option is what we call the big haven, whereby with $90,000, between $90,000 and $120,000, you can own one of these. And in exactly 18 months, your keys are delivered to you. You don't need to recommend anybody. You have the money, go ahead and make your purchase, and that also gives you a unique access into the community. Then the leverage system, one of which we call the Haven 3.0, whereby you subscribe with the sum of $19,256. You recommend 4 of your friends, and you earn 5% on each of them, and you qualify for your apartment. And the second one is what we call Haven 2.0, okay, whereby you subscribe with the sum of $4,621. You recommend 4 of your friends. You earn 5% on each of them, and those 4 friends of yours will recommend their 4 each, making 16 in your second generation. Voila, you qualify for one of those unique flat apartments. Then finally, we have what we call the Haven 1.0, whereby you subscribe with the sum of $2,310. Okay? You recommend 3 of your friends. You earn 5% on each of them. Those 3 friends recommend 3 each, making 9. You earn a leadership bonus at that point. Then voila, those 9 guys recommend 3 each, making 27. Then you qualify for your apartment. What you lack in cash, you make it up in numbers through a unique system we have created. And I want to encourage every one of you, if you are based in Abuja, for example, come around to our construction site. Come and see the quality, the depth of our construction. If you are in Ibadan, go to Ibadan and check out what we are doing in Ibadan, that unique ancient city. All right, so it's time for us to announce our winner for this week's edition of the Discover Your Assets webinar. I asked a question earlier that the marketplace is called what? The word I'm looking for is reality. Okay, the marketplace is called reality, because that is where we achieve our financial fortune or not. Because basically, in the marketplace, like Jim Rohn rightly said, we get paid for the value we bring to the marketplace and not the time we spend. And of course, it takes time to build the value, but you don't get paid for that time. You only get paid when you start driving value, and that is reality. So the first person to drop reality on the charts column is the winner for today. Congratulations. We've got a very unique giveaway today. It's a unique book, because let me say this to you, you've got to build your leadership value. You've got to expand the frontier of your leadership skills, because that's one of the first value. Okay, when I started working on myself, and I have a unique book that simplified the process of becoming a better leader, on how you can lead yourself and leading others, how you can leave footprints behind. It will interest every one of you to know that Jim Rohn died years ago. Some of you don't know that, but he's still living in our hearts. The question is, what kind of footprint are you going to leave behind? So congratulations to our winners for this week's edition. Congratulations. And of course, as a matter of fact, I feel so generous this evening. I feel so generous. The first 2, not the first person, the first 2 persons that drop reality on the chat bar will win this unique book, Footprints, by someone I respect so much, Mr. Linus Okorie. Okay, he's a great man, he's a great author. When you are talking about leaders, leadership consultants in Africa, before you mention 3 persons, you should mention Mr. Linus Okore. If you doubt it, Google it. Okay, it's a fantastic book. I recommend this book to every one of you watching us right now. Look for the book Footprint, and don't just read, apply everything. Okay, I read this book myself. I couldn't sleep for some hours. You know why? Because I needed to reflect over every single time-tested principle Mr. Linus Okore dropped in this time-tested book. Congratulations to 2 of our viewers today. God bless you. So, this is the closing moment for this week's edition. I feel super excited. It's a great reminder for me what we learned today. And like I said earlier, I need us to focus on the right things, like Jim Rohn taught us, okay? And Jim Rohn spoke about 6 things we need to focus on. I don't know if you grabbed it, and that was his concluding moments. Jim Rohn said that you've got to focus on yourself, okay? And he used a powerful phrase to describe that. It's better you work more on yourself than your job. Because when you work so much on your job, you simply earn a living. But when you work so much on yourself, you earn yourself a fortune. Then work on your personality. Okay, how do you carry yourself? How do people perceive you? Perception is key in the marketplace. So I want to encourage every one of you watching me today. Please work on your personality. Just Google it. Google how to improve my personality. You will see a lot of tips. Then your attitude. Your attitude is key. As a matter of fact, your current success and your current failure is a direct reflection of your attitude. Okay? I want to encourage you to please read a book by John Maxwell called Talent is Not Enough. He spoke so much about building the right attitude. Then fourthly, Jim spoke about communication. Okay, you've got to improve your communication skills. According to Jim Rohn, in one of his trainings I attended, he said, when a man is doing well, it shows in the texture of his voice. Okay, so I want you to be better with your communication. Don't be lazy with your words. And he spoke about language. Okay, communication is different, okay, from language. Language is about the kind of words that drops from your mouth, okay? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they inspiring? Or are they demotivating? Or are they motivating? Okay, then of course, finally, your ability. Your ability to do more. Your ability to be more productive. Your ability to move from average to above average. Okay, today's edition is very powerful. I got so much, and for me, I'm going to sit quietly after this edition today and ask myself that, Abioye, what can you do to be better? Because trust me, we can all be better every day, including myself. And trust me, when you see me tomorrow, you'll be seeing a better Abioye. I hope we've been able to add some good value to you this week. Thank you so very much. To learn more about Lifestyle, please go to our website, lifestyleassetup.com. Please discover us more, and don't forget to contact your friend. Okay, there is no way you can even be a vision partner without those friends of yours that invited to this edition. Please contact them. They will help you. They will help to embody you. And of course, you come to discover the uniqueness of this model or this Pan-African vision we created. Okay, so thank you so very much. I wish you the very best. Trust me, together we can all achieve greatness. We look forward to having you again next week at the Discover Your Assets webinar. My name is Abioye, and I'm the CEO of Lifestyle Asset Hub Limited. Thank you.